All right, hey there, Facebook. Hey there, YouTube. Hey there, everywhere. Wherever you're streaming, wherever you're watching this, I wanted to hop on here because there's no severe thunderstorm warning or anything like that. But I wanted to talk about a waterspout. I know last week we had a waterspout, and we were just flooded with pictures and videos of this of the waterspout near Marblehead. It's very similar, almost an identical setup. Just rolled through Put-in Bay, Kelly's Island. I'm going to zoom in on it, just offshore of like Cedar Point. You see Marblehead here. Pretty interesting. I mean, they're not dangerous to anything like on land, but they can be if you are on water for sure. They can definitely cause some issues, and especially with this one, with a whole bunch of heavy rain. If you scroll down or you head on over to my Facebook page, my Instagram and Twitter, I was actually I just posted a video from Put in Bay that showed this rolling right on through. So some big time stuff right there. Look at that right there, and this is where right there you're gonna have like a little bit of inflow and a little bit of outflow on the back edge of that. Very similar to how we would get actual tornadoes on land, but it's not quite the same thing. These form a little bit easier and they're not quite as strong. But tell you what, though, if you're out on a boat and you're near this and this is heading toward like Vermilion, it's headed toward toward land. We'll keep an eye on this. It most likely will fizzle out, but you're probably getting some really cool videos, probably getting some really cool pictures if you know anybody up and around that area. So I just wanted to hop on here really quickly. We can do it. It's easy. We can just pop it up on there and we can actually show you what's going on. Tons of lightning with this for sure. Less now, 13 strikes, but there was a lot as it was rolling through Put-in Bay. Now it is just starting to fade a little bit. So it's something I'm going to watch, of course. Once it gets a little bit closer to land, we'll get a little more serious about it. But for right now, it's just a strong storm over Kelly's Island, man, right over Kelly's Island, getting hit hard with it right now. Look at that. That's a good downpour right over Kelly's Island. Probably a little too rainy, low visibility in Kelly's Island if you have anybody there, or if you're watching from there to actually see this waterspout that would be, if it's there, that would be just to the south of there. I've got a camera in Marblehead. I might not be able to do it from here. Bear with me. Let's see what we have here. I wonder which camera I have pulled up. Put-in Bay. So this is on the back side of it. I don't think I have access to change this camera from here. I do not. But you can still see during the 12 o'clock newscast, I was talking about how calm it was and how it's about to get pretty rough. And man, did it get rough right there in Put-in Bay. See the camera or the boat still bouncing around. All right, let's head back over to the radar. Because that's not really showing as much, just showing the backside of that storm. Here's what I want to show you. Now pause it. Just off of Marblehead. I might actually just leave this here for a second and go change that to Marblehead because that might give us a great view. I'm going to go run and do that. I can still talk to you, but I'm just going to leave this right here for a second and actually change this out for you. But that's what you're looking at there. You're looking at the radar with some heavier rain rolling through. But the reason I started this Facebook Live and YouTube Live is actually to talk about the potential for that waterspout. If you remember last week, we got dozens, a couple really nice videos and dozens of photos of the waterspout just off of Marblehead. This one is, if it's there, if it's forming, it's just off of Marblehead also. So I'm going to pop this camera in here really quickly. Bear with me. I had to run to the other studio really quickly. Well, I didn't really run because I wasn't able to talk very well. There we go. Now I'm walking back. But yeah, 11 strikes of lightning now. So less lightning with it there. So it looks like it is trying to fade away a bit, but there's still some heavy rain. There's still some gusts with it. It's not a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm not hopping onto Facebook and YouTube because of severe weather, because we don't have any of that right now. We might get a warning later on today if storms can get strong enough, if they can destabilize enough. But with what we have going on right now, we just don't have it. All right. The other studio, it's down there. Here it is. This is what I want to show you. Can't really see it. I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to try to. That's the storm for sure. You can see a little bit of a lowering. Yeah, folks out there. Now, again, there were about a dozen strikes. I guarantee they can hear thunder from where they are right there. If you're close enough to hear thunder, I don't care if it's raining where you are or not, because it's not where they are right now. But if you're close enough to hear thunder, you're close enough to get struck by lightning. So definitely don't want to be outside, especially along the lake shore. Super flat. Lightning wants to hit the tallest thing around. And if you're in water or near water, you're pretty much the tallest thing. Interesting cloud structure with that. Very interesting cloud structure with that. It's cruising too. It's moving across the camera, across the screen right there. Oh, I forgot to put your comments on here. Sorry. Let me comments. Okay. No comments. If you guys have comments, feel free to put them in there. I think I can put them on there. I'm pretty sure I've got them on. I might actually have a weird one pinned at the top of my Facebook, but I'll deal with that later. Don't worry about that. Just ignore it if it's still talking about snow. I wanted to start this live really quickly. I didn't change it. But yeah, no, I wanted to show you this really quickly. So this is Marblehead. This is the storm rolling through. This is this storm rolling through here. And there's Marblehead. There's Kelly's Island. It is 1:20, so that's our last little radar scan. Should get another one in a minute here. It's still, I mean, it's offshore, right? It's still way offshore. It's moving about 20 miles an hour, and if you want to kind of measure it to, like, if you're in Vermilion, it's an hour away. So it's going to go through a huge change over the next hour. So I wouldn't get too worried about it if you've got friends and family in Vermilion or anything like that. I'll put it in motion so we can kind of see the track of it. It looks like it's pretty much going essentially, well, from Put-in-Bay, kind of right this direction. And if you kind of extend that out, that puts it into Vermilion. I can move the map a little bit. I guess I got my table on here a little too far, don't I? There we go. Good stuff. Let's go back to that camera. That was cool. That looked neat. All right. What do we got here? Questions. Oh, Solly, sorry. Sorry, Solly. Tracy, is this headed for Euclid? No. There will be more storms. There will be other storms in Euclid later on today or near Euclid. There's a whole line coming through. You guys want to talk about the forecast? We can while we're talking about this. I'm not seeing the waterspout or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive we're going to see some different posts out there. Anything coming towards the Cleveland area, Old Brooklyn, calm. Let's do it. Let's do a forecast. Let's go through the whole forecast. If you weren't watching at noon, if you weren't paying attention to this morning, or if you just want some updates, let's do it. I got to load up the show. All right, so let's go back to it. Here is essentially that same look, that same camera, Marblehead. We're looking out over at that storm. It's cruising. It's cruising pretty quickly, about 20, maybe 25 miles per hour, making its way off toward the east. Shouldn't have much of an impact anymore after now that it's past like Kelly's Island, but it's still raining pretty heavily. Only 8 strikes, but that's the joys of Facebook and YouTube. I can just pop this on here, and we don't have to have severe weather or anything. We can just come talk about something that's interesting and inconvenient and potentially dangerous if you're out over the lake. But yeah. All right. So let's talk about the forecast. Let's show you what we have going on. This is, let me go back up to one of our more reliable models. This is essentially our forecast for the rest of the day today. You see temperatures likely in the mid 80s. Once we get through the next hour or so, probably going to get a couple of these storms popping up. The lake stuff shouldn't be anything too crazy, but over land is really what we're looking at. And that's probably going to be a couple thunderstorms that do try to pop up. I don't expect a bunch, but I do expect a few. They just kind of bubble up. I mean, if you haven't been outside yet today, it's 1 o'clock, 1:30 almost. What are you doing? But if you have, it's super steamy outside, super sweaty, and that's why we have these storms in the forecast. This evening, fade away. We lose our daytime heat, and they're out of here. I think tomorrow morning we're good. Still somewhat unsettled, but then we'll get a few more that pop up tomorrow afternoon. Quick 7-day forecast. We can show you that mid 80s all the way through the rest of the work week, and then in the weekend we got to start talking about some more heat. More heat coming away. All right, Tracy, you're welcome. Tracy, you're very welcome. Susie, Cedar Point. We can take a look at Cedar Point. Don't have a camera over Cedar Point right now, but I do have radar and Marblehead. So there's Cedar Point at the end of it right there. Cedar Point's fine. Honestly, they're probably shutting down rides right now because of the lightning nearby. Lightning is, if it's within a certain distance, I know they shut it down. And honestly, if you can hear it, you're close enough to get struck. So it's what, 7.5 miles away from Cedar Point. So I bet they've got a stop. I bet they've got a ground stop for all the rides. But not a bad day at Cedar Point. Super humid. Carrie, not tonight. Cedar Point should be fine tonight. These are just kind of like daytime. They're fueled by the heat of the day. So I wouldn't expect it to be too crazy this evening. It might actually kind of clear out, calm down, and be pretty nice. It'll be muggy. It'll be sweaty for sure, but it shouldn't be too bad. Jeffrey, I don't know if that's a compliment or what. I don't know whose accountant I look like, but I'll take it. I guess I've been called worse. Here's a question. Do you see any more 90-degree days coming? Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Saturday. How many do we already have? I think we've had 6 so far, and we averaged 9 a year. Last year we had like in the teens. So yeah, no, we'll get more. We'll definitely get some more 90-degree days. Susan, thank you. Feels the best. It's kind of crazy with people on vacation. Our hours. Phil's a good worker. Phil Seiko, who's going to be in here in a little bit here. With people off, it's next man up, next woman up. We just fill in when we can. Carrie, have fun at Cedar Point this evening. Have fun at Cedar Point. Cindy, how you doing? How are you doing, Cindy? I popped this in here. I popped this this Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We're on YouTube also, not just Facebook. I know YouTube has a different like Google search stuff. So if you're looking for weather, it'll pop in on your YouTube as well. But the reason I started this is not for any severe weather. It's not to freak anybody out or go too crazy. But it's just easy. We can do this whenever we want. You can pop in. You can pop out. I want you to kind of. If you have any questions about anything or you see any like crazy thunderstorms and you're looking for information, most likely we'll be here talking about it. So kind of make it a habit. Just make it a habit that we're going to be here. We've been here. We'll continue to be here. Let me show you where we are. I'm going to zoom back a little bit farther. Let's go back 3 hours. I want to show you all the way back. I'm not going to go back 3 hours, but well, almost. Here's where it started. Started making its way onshore, or offshore, rather. Had some storms near Detroit essentially all morning long. And as soon as they moved over the lake, started getting a little different atmosphere to work in, started getting some lightning. And that's when the National Weather Service kind of issued that marine warning. Doesn't mean anything for land or most of us. But if you're on a boat, then your weather radio, which I assume you should have a weather radio if you're out on the lake on a boat. I mean, that's crucial because Lake Erie, it changes so quickly. Storms from miles away will change what's going on where you are 30 miles away. I mean, it can really mess with the lake. So this is when I popped on here to do this Facebook Live talking about this potential waterspout. I wanted to hop on here and do a live because last week when we had that waterspout near Marblehead, almost an identical situation, almost an identical setup, had a ton of videos and pictures and everything. I don't know that the pictures pop into this chat here. Still trying to figure it out, but I can pop over and check it out also. Yeah. Cool. Oh, they're not all popping in there. Not all the questions. So if I missed your comment, sorry about that. Um, yeah, sorry about that. If I miss it, I'm missing it on purpose or anything. But yeah. Anyway, you got any pictures of it? You got anybody around the islands, and they just got through it? Shoot them a quick text. See if they saw a water spout. Especially anybody at Marblehead, Catawba, anybody at Cedar Point, seeing it off the north coast there. I might be able to. Let's see here. I know Cedar Point has their webcams on their website. I may be able to. Yep. Can I just do this? Whoop, whoop, whoop. This is looking probably north. Oh, there goes Top Thrill. Took off. So to the right of the screen here, this behind me, yeah, this way. Sorry, it's all backwards. That's where that storm would be. Let's see if we can get a different view. Only have two. No, there's three. This one would be the view if it would just be a little bit higher. If we could aim it upwards, shift it out over the lake, but I guess they don't really want to show the lake. All right. Anyway, that's not showing much. I want to go back to that Marblehead camera and see if that's going to show us anything. No, just the back side of it. You can see so this is right here is the range shaft sneaking around the back of the lighthouse there. This is just the bottom of the cloud, essentially right there, the bottom of that thunderstorm. I mean, it's low. It's low. It's tough to see. I kind of wish I would have switched on that a little bit sooner, so we could have seen it just a little bit sooner. But the radar doesn't look like it's nearly as defined as it might have been. A Sandusky photo won't show. I got a camera. We don't have a camera. Erie Shores and Islands, they have a camera there. They have cameras all over the place. I don't think the Sandusky one will show much. Milena, John, what about Canton? Now, Canton's no water spouts or anything like that, but probably some thunderstorms later on today. I've got a few that are going to try to pop up. I got a few that are going to try to build in here and try to sneak in some heavier rain at times. But overall, I think most of us should stay relatively thunder free. But if you do get stuck under some of these storms, then you got some heavy rain for sure. Man, Amber, Chippewa Lake. So I think what is it, Wednesday night? So you've got the skiers at Chippewa Lake. Still go. Probably might. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. Let me show you why I'm so hesitant to say yes or no. I mean, if I had the time, I would go because to see the skiers out there, it's so cool. It's so cool. But let's see here. There this evening. See, I have a couple little storms that are going to try to bubble up. They don't last long. They build up with all this heat and humidity, and they rain themselves out, and they collapse and they fade away. This won't necessarily hang around for too long. So if you do get a downpour at Chippewa Lake, the odds it stays there for long is relatively low. It's possible. It's not impossible, but definitely something to keep an eye out for. You might get some rain, some heavy rain, and then it pulls out. Interesting you say that because this model right here puts a storm right over Chippewa Lake. 4 or 5 o'clock, but then it's gone by 6. So it's just something that we're gonna have to watch. Have fun though. Are you one of the skiers or a spectator? And you're welcome. All right, it's pretty much gone. It's pretty much gone. I don't have any more cameras around it. Actually, I'm gonna go run and change it over to the spectator. Nice. Um, I haven't been out there to see him yet. I need to have fun tonight. I'm gonna run to the other studio real quick, and I'm gonna put the Sandusky camera on, and that will show us. Maybe it'll give us a little different view. Might show us a little bit more of what's going on because it's kind of past that Marblehead camera, just snuck behind the lighthouse there, but less lightning, less wind, still some heavy rain. Still have that marine warning. That's for any boaters out there. Nothing for onshore. That's the joys of Facebook and YouTube here. I can pop on kind of whenever I want to, so we can talk about strong storms or interesting weather or really anything we want to talk about. So that's always the good stuff there. Let's go to, yeah, this isn't going to show us anything. Nope, no luck there. But I can pop it up and run back to the other studio and still show you that on land, there's no worries. Trying to pop up a camera from Sandusky, had to run to the other studio. If you're just tuning in, you're wondering where I am. I'm about 50 yards away right now. Maybe 50 feet, not quite 50 yards. Changing the cameras around. I've got access to everything except that camera that shows their cameras, or that computer that shows their cameras. Back to it. This is Sandusky. It's dry. It's dry as can be right now. So no worries there. Trying to look out over the lake. Nothing. Nothing. So we're good. We're good on land. We're great on land. Okay. Well, you guys, I am going to shut this down because I was hoping we were going to get that on Marblehead, and I wanted to be here streaming it live to get that waterspout as it rolled through Marblehead. We got so many pictures, so many videos of the one last week. These things are pretty tough to capture when it's so cloudy like this. They're not as easy, but I tried. Anyway, thanks for sneaking in here. Thanks for jumping in here with us this afternoon. It's 1:36. Have a great rest of your day. I do still have some thunderstorms in the forecast for later on today. They're going to pop up mainly, south of the lake. Already starting to see a little bit of that. I'll put this in motion just so we can get one more quick little look at it. Looks like it's kind of gusting out anyway. But yeah, we'll see some storms developing likely back in here and then trying to roll through. Not a ton, but a few. A few kind of relates to like 40%. So most of us will not get the thunder later on today. All right, y'all have a good rest of your day. Feel free to share this and like it because it helps the algorithm. Thank you.